But then also, you know how some people have been saying like maybe there's two killers because there's like those two different purple guys and stuff like that. Maybe like, let me think about this. So maybe the guy with the badge, you know, the little purple guy with the badge, maybe that is employee number 1, whatever his name is. The other guy, the little wiggly shaped guy, is Fritz, and Fritz was actually like in on it the whole time, like he was in on the crime. I was gonna say maybe he wasn't the one that got in the suit and led the kids away. Maybe he just like covered for the other guy, like he let him in and he let him do his thing. But then if the first guy, the employee number 1 guy, is the one that got arrested, then that means that he had to have been in the suit because that would be on the security cameras. Gotta be him, right? Like Fritz is tied into it somehow because of him tampering with the dolls. I don't know how, like I can't figure it out, it's fucking hard. Phone guy is like the same guy from game 1 and game 2, right? But like he's not security in the first one because he says like, well, you're number 2 employee and like the other guy is number 1 employee, so that's not including himself. Like, is he like, I think maybe like he's the owner, or maybe he's not the owner, maybe like he deals with all the crap, you know, like he's like HR or something like that. I don't know why he would go down from like HR to being security, but maybe it's because like by the time it's like night 6 or whatever, night 5 or night 6, the ending one where he says like, oh, if we reopen again, maybe I'll work night shift and stuff like that. Maybe it's like he got so demoted that he can't go back to HR, like he has to work security now or something like that. I don't know. And I don't know why he's volunteering to take the night shift when he knows it's dangerous as fuck. But maybe he thinks like, oh, he knows like the dolls, like he can handle them and stuff. And he's like, maybe he's just overconfident they won't attack him or something like that. And along those lines, I don't know. Because it's pretty clear that like the guy you play as, Jeremy, is the one that gets his brain bitten by the doll. That much is clear. Like, he's the victim, and the first security guard is the one that got arrested for going into a suit and doing that shit with the kids. But the rest of it is all so complicated. Okay, for a little bit, I thought maybe, like, the phone guy was, like the phone guy in the first game is actually Jeremy from the second game, like, and that's why in the second game, he says, I worked in that office before you. Like, it makes you think that he works the shift before him, but he just means he worked that job before, or I don't know. It doesn't really make sense all those years later, but then I was like, no, it can't be, because if he got bitten in the brain, then he probably wouldn't be like in a good enough state to like talk and all that stuff. So if you bit off someone's entire like front of their brain, then I think they would be pretty fucked up. But maybe, who knows, maybe it's supposed to be like he barely changed or something. I don't know, man. They make it seem like in this, while you're playing the second game with the phone calls and stuff like that, that's when the kidnapping and all that shit and the arrests and all that stuff with the killer happens. But clearly before then, dolls were already stuffing people into their suits, because that's what, like, the main thing he warns you about. Like, I mean, that's like the whole point of like hiding from them. And clearly they had done it before, and clearly they have had problems with predators before, like pedophiles or whatever, because otherwise why would they bother to put like the face recognition and all that shit into the dolls? You know what I mean? Like, why would they even bother? In a regular restaurant, that it would just be like the parents' responsibility, and you wouldn't like care about like your dolls trying to alert, you know, trying to look out for criminals and stuff like that. Like, what's up with that? So he said that like the old dolls were like, people complained about them smelling bad and stuff, which I assume is like supposed to be the smell of rotten flesh or like dead bodies already stuffed inside them. Maybe they stuffed the original owners into themselves or something like that, and they like, because they were tired of like taking orders from humans, and they were like, fuck you guys, we're gonna take over. And then they just like stuffed the original owners into their suits, and then they just like became sentient and started like running the place by themselves. And that's why they said like, oh, the old restaurant has like been shut down forever, and we we probably could never find the previous owners and stuff like that, because they're like stuffed into the that start, you know, with them stuffing people in suits and all that stuff, and what was the previous, like, pedophile incident, and, you know, everything that happened at the previous restaurant from the second game. Like, what is all that, you know? Like, there's no information. It's all mystery, you know?